face it, not everything you make in art is great. Sometimes you have good days, and sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes your art is excellent, and other times your art sucks.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this new video. In this episode, in this latest episode of Your Art Sucks, I'm going to talk about this disastrous piece. You've seen this piece in like the intro clip, right at the end of the clip, and yeah, I'm incredibly ashamed of this piece. This piece is like just the worst thing, one of the worst things, because I have another piece that's just as bad as this is. But this is a piece I did of the Hulk back in 2019. I don't know if you can see that. Back in 2019, and yeah, and so just my idea for this piece, like why did I draw this, is I was thinking of like having the Hulk like pull his hands back like 2 seconds before he does the Hulk smash thing on the ground. So I wanted to capture that intensity, like right moments before that he does that move. Not from any media, not from anything specific, like not from any movie or game, but just like, if you've read comics, if you know about the Hulk, then he does that attack. He has that move where he hits the ground like that and he says Hulk smash, and so I wanted to capture that and to draw that, and yeah, so I drew this, and this is just the worst thing ever. And I'm going to identify some things that are wrong with this, and and yeah, hopefully shine a light on some of the biggest mistakes here, and to hopefully make you aware to not do the mistakes that I did, or if you do, at least to be aware of them later on so you can correct them and then become a better artist. No, so there's a series of things. I would say one, two, I don't know, maybe just two things in this case that really affected. But yes, I'm gonna number them. I'm gonna use this ink pen, this fine liner that I almost never use. This is from Artline. I don't know if you guys have this in the States, but this is what I have. This is something that's this is a brand that is here in Peru. It's pretty good, but there's just one peeve that I have with it. And it's one of the reasons why I don't use it. Like, for example, when I draw something, at the end it leaves those little dots, which I thought were not good. I don't know if you can see it, but like I'll draw something, and then it always leaves those little dots there at the end. But I don't know. It's just we can get into that later. But yeah, looking back at the piece. I'm sorry. Just before I continue, I wanted to say I'm using this in reference to a viewer who recommended that I use something that you can see, because before I was using my pencil to jot down the things that was wrong with the picture. Like, for example, I'd write proportions, and then I was informed from this viewer. Forgot her name, but thank you very much for commenting that these kinds of that you couldn't see it. So I'm going to start writing with this. So thank you for the tip, thank you for the advice, and I'm going to start using this to help to help make this easier to see, because really I was using this and jotting this down to help me out, but then then she later made me realize that everybody can benefit from me writing here with pen. The points that are wrong with the piece. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any other suggestions or comments, anyone watching the video on how I can improve the video making process, or if you have any comments about the art, also like, yeah, this is you can improve it in such and such a way, please let me know, because I don't believe that I hold the truth to anything with art. This is just things that I've learned that I feel could improve your art. No. So yes, I don't hold the truth on anything. So if you want to debate me, debunk me, go ahead. I'm all for it. So the first thing, just the number one thing that just sticks out incredibly bad with this piece is anatomy. The anatomy is just completely wrong. Um, and yes, this was I did this piece during a time where when I was still trying to get into the groove of drawing. This is around April, because I have this inverted. It's not March, but this is the day, month, year. So this is April. And so that's like must have been like what 4 months that I came back into drawing, and at that time I was still drawing innately. Um, and what I mean by that is I was drawing things that I thought needed to be drawn in a specific way, just because that's how I felt that they should be drawn. Like I would draw a torso, and I would say, okay, this is how I think the torso should go. This is how it feels. It's right. Then I would draw an arm. I was like, okay, this is how the arm should look, and this feels right. I may have used maybe one or two references from comics, but I was mostly just drawing off the top of my head and with just the little bit of knowledge that I had at that time. So this is one of the very prime reasons why you should never do that, because you'll see that here, for example, I'm just practically inventing muscles and inventing things that aren't there. I'm bending things in ways that aren't bent in that. So the biggest thing that pops out to me is this muscle here, these muscles that are, I think they're pecs, I'm not sure. And then these muscles here, they look like balls. They look like little Dragon Balls just popped over, and just little balls just popped into the side of his, and this looks disastrous. And also this here looks disastrous. It looks, I don't know how to describe that. Maybe somebody can show me, but these muscles in this position with the arm stretched out like that does not look like that when it's moved, when it's in that position. Now I don't know if I could draw it for you here. So I don't know, man, but from this area here, this is supposed to be the shoulder muscle. This is supposed to be the shoulder muscle, but from here, it's almost always a straight shot downward, and then it does something like this. I guess here would be the bicep. Here you have this muscle here. Then you have the tricep. And then it goes into the back. And so this pec does this number here. It's in this like triangle-ish shape. And then this would be the neck, just in reference to the head. So yeah, it does this number here. So further back than that, I'm assuming that this line would just move this way. I'm assuming I'd have to look at a reference, because I don't know this. I don't know this stuff off the top of my head as accurate as I would like. So I even now, like, I'd have to look at a reference to just to be 100% sure how the muscles move, to make it look better, to make it look believable, and to not make it look like this disastrous thing here. So this is one of the reasons why it's important to study anatomy. Because it just makes your figures look better. I mean, you can get away with knowing some of it, to this degree. You can get away with it a little bit, but eventually you're going to find someone, or you're going to come across someone who knows more about art than you do, and they'll know that this is a mess. This is a disaster. So anatomy, check your anatomy. Please be careful of the anatomy. I mean, I would love to show you more about anatomy, but I'm not 100% accurate with anatomy. But I know that this is messed up. I know that these muscles here are not balls. I know that these are not balls. I know that, for example, I shouldn't have done the line work like this. Like I literally just drew a line around all of the muscles. Like for example here, what I did was, okay, here's a muscle. Here's another muscle. Here's another muscle. And here's a muscle. And here's this muscle. Here's this muscle. No, and you're not supposed to you're not supposed to draw like that, because that doesn't give any sense of, you can't demonstrate any kinds of shadows any highlights or shadows with this kind of line work. The idea is that you have to put these heavy lines in areas where there's going to be shadow. So, which also goes into the idea of line weights. Like for example, like this bottom area here should have a thicker line than this top area here. If I wanted to draw this line that thick, no, I could draw it thinner. No, so again, I should draw those lines thicker. And but yeah, that just those lines, the way I have it so thick all the way around, like here, sorry, like here, all these heavy black lines here, this is just disastrous. This is a horrible way of doing line work. So you should yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So anatomy is one. I guess, yeah, I just pointed out another one, the line art. Line art, you know, don't outline the muscles. No, don't outline the muscles. The muscles. Don't outline it. Like, use your lines to show you where the dark areas are at and where the light areas are. And that's one thing. So that's just the anatomy and the line art for this just looks horrible. And anyways, and then apart from that, the second thing that I thought was just as disastrous, if not even more disastrous than the line art and the anatomy, is rendering. Rendering is horrible. I'm doing at this time when I was doing this, I didn't know exactly how to approach rendering. I wasn't sure about how much blacks I should use, heavy black areas. I wasn't sure about if I was doing my rendering in the right way. At that time, I was just mostly doing this number where I just did these lines in a parallel fashion, which is hatching. But there's more finesse to hatching than just doing lines like this. Normally, you have to go from thick to thin, or it can be inverted from thin to thick, or you can go from thin to thick and then thin again. I haven't mastered that yet. I'm still here, but there's different ways to approach hatching, and you're never going to get better at that if you don't understand where the shadow is coming from. So if you have your shape, if you have your circle, as most people like to do, you have your circle, you have your light source coming this way. You know that this area here is going to receive the light, and then this area here is going to receive the shadows. So you have to, obviously, when you ink, you put the blacks here, and then when you render, you're rendering in favor of this context, I guess. You're rendering in favor of this dynamic. That you have darks here and you have lights here. So if you have darks, you have lights, then obviously your thicker lines are going to be here, your thinner lines are going to be here. So I would just change the paper like this because I'm left-handed. But you would do dark to light, dark to light. It's difficult to render with this, but yeah, whatever. Dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. Now, so you should do something like that. Erase this stuff here, and then you'll see, for example, okay, you can at least have a competent drawing where you can see that, okay, here's the dark areas, here's the light areas, and as I'm moving from dark to light, I can see this hatching that will give it a certain gradient that, okay, it's from the dark and going into the light. So, I mean, it's not just doing this, but it's doing it with a purpose, with a sense of purpose that, okay, I'm going from dark to light. And so I don't do that here. I grid areas out, and then I just put lines in it. I grid an area out and put lines in it. Grid an area out, put lines in it, put lines in it, put lines in it. And so actually, if I'm looking at this piece, everything that I gridded out, because for example, like looking back at this piece, I did the muscle, and then let's imagine that I have my light source here. All right, so in this muscle, the shadow is going to go here, here. Just let's just imagine. Let's go in here, here. On this muscle, the shadow is going to go here, here. On this muscle here, the shadow is going to go here, here. On this muscle, the shadow is going to go here and here. This muscle, the shadow will go here, here. And then here, for example, in this area, because this is under all of this muscle, we can do like a cast shadow type thing here. And then, you know, maybe a little bit of shadow here, if that were the case. No? And so in these spaces, let's see if I can zoom in. All right, sorry. In these spaces, what I did in this drawing was do this number. I got my pen and I started hatching like this. Let's see if we can see this. I started hatching like this. Wee 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 wee. Wee 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 wee. Wee 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 wee. Sorry for the sound effects. I started hatching away. Wee. Wee. And in my opinion, maybe you might think differently, but in my opinion, it looks like crap. It looks horrible. I want to say more effusive words, but that looks horrible. And so that's what I did on all this. Hold on, let me zoom back out. Look at Hulk's boobs. Wait, I'm zooming back out. And so that's what I did all over this piece. All I did was just grid this stuff out, and then grid it out, and then did it here, everywhere. Everywhere is like that. And so what I'm doing now, the way I'm rendering now, I still do the same thing of outlining like this, but I'll just go over it in all black. And I'll just let's zoom in again. Now what I'm doing is I'm going in all black. I'm not doing those little hatching lines. I'm just blacking everything out. And just to give you an idea, because this is not looking as good as I thought it'd look. Just blacking everything out. Everything goes in black. Everything goes in black. This is what I'm doing now. So everything is in black. And then when I start rendering, I start rendering from these black areas out. Sorry. I start rendering from these black areas out. Whee! That's what I'm doing now. Which I'm eventually going to change up also, I guess. But that's what I'm doing. Because this is the light source is going this way, so everything goes in that direction. And then obviously it has to change depending on the texture, how sharp is the edge. Now this is a rounded thing, but there could be like different kinds of shape. I'm not going to get into that much because that's another video that I want to focus on. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And so in this case, in this drawing, what I can do is just all over these areas that I was hatching, I could just completely cover that in black. So the majority of this piece would just be in black, which would be great. It would be nice. So the rendering in this is just absolutely horrible. And yeah, I mean, at that time I didn't know any better. I didn't know exactly how to render. I was still discovering that. I was just again, this is a drawing that I did completely innate. Like it's just what I felt, what I thought was nice. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna just do that. And then I looked back at it. I was like, oh, it looks pretty good. Okay, let me just continue messing with it. But no, there's no technique to it. It's just mess everywhere. Mess can be great. I would say it could be great after you have a certain technique to it, because some people could say that this is like sketchy stuff. But I mean, this is sketchy with no sense of direction. No, you can be sketchy, but with a sense of direction, your sketchiness can have a certain purpose. Case in point, Marc Silvestri. Case in point, Ken Hunt. For example, if you take a look at those artists, they have sketchy work. No, their lines are not 100% defined. They're very sketchy-ish, and it works because they have an understanding of lights and darks, and they know how things operate, so they can play with it. But in my case, for example, if you're just being sketchy for the sake of being sketchy and you have no understanding of some of these basic concepts of shapes, lights, and darks, then you're going to end up doing stuff like this, which sucks. Now, this sucks. That's why it's in the intro, because it sucks. And so yeah, so that's rendering. So let's look at our list. So I have anatomy. The anatomy's off. Line art. Don't outline the muscles. Oh, sorry for bending. That's why I hit the camera. But yeah, the anatomy, the line art. Don't outline the muscles. The rendering sucks. And I think that's it. I mean, just 3 components, but look at the damage that's done. And so yeah, if I were to fix the anatomy, if I were to fix the lines in certain areas, or the line weights, for example, or if I were to use blacks and fix the rendering, this would be a whole lot better. The only thing that I think was like worthwhile on this piece is the hair. I just like how I did that, but I didn't do that with ink pens. I did that with a brush pen, and I don't use brush pens anymore. I used them at this time. Yeah, and personally, actually, let's look at that number 4. I'm gonna put my use of brush pens. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, I didn't use all inks on this piece. This isn't an all ink piece. This is a piece that I drew with ink, and then I went over it with brush pens, and you can see that here. Obviously in the hair, you can see that here that I use brush pens. I use different levels of gray. I use a lighter gray, darker gray where I thought it needed it, not where I knew it needed it, but where I thought. And then if you look really closely at this, you can see, here, I think it's more evident here. You can see that I hatched this. Now you can see that I did hatching lines on that. But it was so horrible that I just like, man, I have to do something else. And I thought it would be good to black this out so we can push it forward more towards the back, behind the Hulk's head. Because if I'm not mistaken, before I did the brush pen, I just did the lines. This all looked like just scattered lines everywhere. So one way to help you identify what's closer, what's further in the background is in my case was by using brush pens here. But no, horrible use of brush pens. You can even see here, for example, I use brush pens all over this just to try to make this darker. And then I don't know what I did with this background. I don't know, this is ink. I think this is ink. Or I think this is brush pen. It's just faded out over the years. But this brush pen crayon charcoal looking thing was like the kind of background that I was going for. Like a smoky background, I guess you could say. And that just looks horrible too. But I mean, that's just taste and preference. I mean, it'll look cool in some pieces of art. And yeah, so those 3 concepts destroyed this piece. I didn't even render the mouth. It's just the teeth, the eyes. I took this approach with the eyes because I wanted to draw some kind of intensity, some kind of insaneness to his eyes, which I guess to a certain degree, yeah, maybe you might see a little bit of intensity there, I guess you could say. Maybe he's mad that I drew him wrong. I don't know. But yeah, and then the nips. What the heck is that? Yeah, I don't think I've drawn nips since this drawing. I don't know. I think I've been scared of drawing nips. I don't know, but yeah, that's not how I would approach that now. And I would approach it differently now. And yeah, so this is the piece. This is Hulk. I call this Hulk 1. And yeah, I was really upset when I did this like afterwards. Like I think like I drew this and I like immediately regretted drawing this. And I looked at it and I was like, man, this looks horrible. And so I tried to re-vindicate myself, and I did a second piece, which looks a little bit better, but it has the same flaws as this one in the sense that in the sense that the anatomy isn't 100% there, and in the sense that the rendering is just as bad as this is. And oh man, this has been in here for a long time. This is the second piece. This one I've posted more often than this other piece. I thought this was a much better piece than this one, but the mistakes are the same. You take a look, this the same idea that I told you about the rendering. I did it again here. Now I tried to be a little like hatchy with it, and I like lightly scratched like my pen all over the paper, so you can see like minor scratches and stuff like that. Try to put some veins in there. I didn't know how to do that, obviously, and yeah, I mean, yeah, this is me trying to discover the world of inking, because this is when I realized that inking is not the same as penciling. With pencils, there's certain things that you can do. Like for example, here I'll try and do this approach here. Try to like hatch out, try to like scratch this off so you can see. So you can notice the vein here, which is something that you can do with pencil, but you can't do with ink. With ink, there's a different approach to that, and I didn't understand any of that at that time. So yeah, so this is the second piece, which I think looks just as bad, but I don't know. I think this is passable. I probably wouldn't put this through the scrutiny of Your Art Sucks video, but yeah, I mean it's not much better at all. So I still have a Hulk piece pending to where I might one day redraw the Hulk, not in this pose. I think I'm scarred for life for this pose. but I think I might draw the Hulk again someday, I don't know. And yeah, so the piece that I did before this one was this Iron Man piece. I like this piece. But again, the same mistakes. No, I'm gridding out this area here, doing the lines again. Gridding out this, doing the lines again. Like this is supposed to be a metallic surface, and then the metal surface. I'm sorry. The metal surface has a completely different way of rendering, which I didn't understand at that time. So again, I did muscles where I thought they should go, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. But then there's muscles that don't exist. Like, what the heck is this? What is that? So this is the kind of thing that you do when you don't know your anatomy. So when you try to sugarcoat your anatomy, then you put all kinds of like bells and whistles on and try to like decorate it, make it look nice, and then you did this and you do that, and then it still sucks. But yeah, this is the dates for this piece and this other piece, 2019, right before Endgame was coming out. So at that time, I was like, yeah, let me do a series of Avengers artwork. So I did Iron Man. I was like, let me start the way the MCU started. Now I'm gonna start with Iron Man and Hulk, and then I'm gonna continue drawing the other MCU characters, which I did. And then and they're all going to show up on Your Art Sucks video because they suck. So yeah, I did this piece. I mean, I like what I did here on the red armor area. It's pretty good. It looks pretty nice. But this yellow part here just sucks. I just don't like how I did that rendering. And then the action lines here, that was pretty cool. But then this one just horrible. It sucks. And yeah, so that I think that wraps it up for this video. Again, let's take a look at what's wrong with it: the anatomy, line art, rendering, and my personal use of brush pens. So if you improve with these aspects, then this would be a much better drawing. So this is exactly what's wrong with this drawing, and yeah, so that'll be it for this episode of Your Art Sucks. I'm going to continue putting more of these videos out because incredibly enough, I have a lot of bad art. So not incredibly enough, I don't want to be like I'm the best art. No, because I made a lot of mistakes and I did a lot of stuff wrong. But it's all part of learning. I'm not getting rid of this. I'm keeping this in my folder, so I can every now and then I look through my old art and I'll take a look at how bad it was and what things to improve, and to always remember that no matter where you are on the journey of art, you can be amateur, you can be pro, super pro, if such a thing exists. No, so no matter where you are on this line, no, you have to uh, it's still a journey. There's still a beyond. There's still there's no end. There's no end point. No, there's no end game in that case. No, there's always, you're always on this path, and there's always more to learn. There's always new things to discover, and no matter where you are, I mean, you are where you're supposed to be. And then if you want to continue advancing, then you have to apply these things and then learn more about art. And yeah, so I mean, for example, I was at this stage, or at this stage, and I thought that what I drew was like the best thing ever. And then as you move a little bit towards here, you move a little bit towards here, then you start learning that what you did before wasn't bad. But I mean, you can learn from it. You can also remember that at one point, and it helps you to remember, that at one point you were here, and then it's okay, because we're all on a journey. We're all trying to learn, and the idea is to be open to learning. So yes, so that is it for this video. I'm going to put out more. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, please ask. If you have any rebuttals, if you have anything to say, like, no, Elliot, you're talking a bunch of hogwash, everything that you say is wrong, please explain. No, please explain. Let me know. And that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. One more thing. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps out with the algorithm. Also, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And thank you so much for all the subscribers that I have. I would like to get to know more about you guys, what kind of things that you like. If you like this video, please let me know. If there's a different kind of video that you want me to make, please let me know, because I can probably do something different. And yes, so just please, just please let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe, share it out, tell all your friends about me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.